welcome to the Living Room Zoo with Leigh and Phil. Now, Phil is actually behind the camera today. You're going to say hi. Hi, Phil. And this is Liz Cormell. She's joining us for our first proper episode. Hi.
Hiya.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. Exciting.
Excellent. It's great to have you here because you wear so many hats. We always have so much to talk about,
Yes.
which we're about to start now. But just wanted to read out a couple of messages that have come through from you, which is great. We did an introduction episode about 6 weeks ago, just to tell everybody what we're going to be doing. And this has come through from Eddie Shark, which says, hi. Oh, I wonder if that's a made-up name, Shark. Says, hi Leigh and Phil, as an animal lover myself, enjoyed your intro and info about your previous pets. Bringing a pooch from Spain is a pretty good thing to do, although I never grew up with pets. My mother had her first cat and never looked back. This eventually led to several more cats, dogs, including a Shih Tzu, an African grey parrot. Oh, I've always wanted a parrot. Koi carp and birds too. Often I used to quip, there'll be an entrance fee soon. Looking forward to the next episode. Thank you for that message. We've also had one from Jasmine Hope. Hi Jasmine, who says, hi, I grew up with a cat and a dog and birds when my kids were little. We had dogs, cats, rabbits, hamsters, guinea pigs. My son even had an African land snail at one point. I never knew what it was like not to have a pet. Thank you for your message, Jasmine. Which leads me to my snail story, which I've just told you off air. Most bizarre thing, this is a bit off the wall, but we went to Spain a couple of months ago and a cat appeared in the back garden. I was there with my mum and we'd had a tuna salad. There was some tuna left over, so I thought, I can't leave that with this cat mooching about every day. So I thought I'll put a little bowl of tuna out on the patio. And about half an hour later, I saw this blob and I thought, what on earth is that? And it was a snail upside down in the tuna with its I was going to say its tail sticking out, and I thought with its shell on the side of the bowl. Since when did snails eat tuna, Liz?
I didn't realise they were carnivorous.
Is that a thing?
It must be. I know a friend of mine
was just really hungry.
Yeah, a friend of mine has real problems. She fosters cats.
Yeah.
For the RSPCA branch that I work with.
Yeah.
And she's had problems with slugs and snails getting into the tubs with the dry food in.
Oh gosh.
So she's had to the copper tape and really, really well sealed lids and stuff.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't realise that they were carnivorous.
I mean, I love animals, but I don't have much knowledge about snails, to be fair.
No, not
But it was funny just seeing the whole thing upside down. I thought it was stuck, but it did waddle off later on, and I removed the tuna. Anyway, welcome to the Living Room Zoo, Liz. It's great to have you here.
Thank you.
So, as we were saying, you wear many, many hats. Everything you do, I'm fascinated in, because we've spoken many times on my radio show. But so you're a cat lover. You work for the Stourbridge RSPCA, which is not the main RSPCA. It's an independent.
Yes.
You rescue, you foster cats.
I
You've
do,
got
yes.
5 at the moment, so we can talk about that. You're a ghost hunter.
Yes.
You're a storm chaser, a bit like Phil. You're a storm chaser as well. All things that fascinate me, and a psychic. And also, right now, you've got involved with something which is incredible. I think this is incredible, and that's the UK wildlife transport, which again is brilliant. But let's just talk about cats.
Yes, cats.
Cats.
My favourite subject.
Your favourite subject. So how did you get involved with Stourbridge RSPCA?
Basically, I adopted 2 cats from them. That was what's kicked it all off.
Yeah.
Back in 2014, I think it was.
Quite a while ago.
I lost my then cat Ewan, and like most pet lovers will know, once your house is empty, there's no pets there.
Absolutely.
It just feels wrong. It's just so empty. Like, you wouldn't think just not having this little ball of fluff.
Oh, I totally get that.
So I spent most of my time at my parents' or at my sister's, avoiding being at home, feeling empty.
Yeah.
Got in touch with Cats Protection and Stourbridge RSPCA, reached out and said, I want cats.
Yeah.
I don't care how old they are, what colour they are, I don't care whether they're boys or girls. I want at least 2.
Yeah.
The only criteria I had, because I was working shifts, I needed them to be older than 6 months old.
Yeah, because otherwise they need regular feeding and
they
more
need feeding
attention
during the day.
Yeah.
And I was leaving the house for more than 8 hours at a time, so I couldn't get home to feed them. So that was the only like criteria. And Stourbridge RSPCA got in touch pretty much as soon as the message landed and said, come and look at these cats. So I went to see 2 who were very shy, one of whom was just the spitting image of my old cat, and I just couldn't. And I was like, as much as I want to, I just can't. It wouldn't be fair on the cat.
No.
So I went to see Teddy and Toby, who are now mine. They've been mine since 2014. So yeah, within 5 days, I got 2 cats, Teddy and Toby. They were 8 months old, from the RSPCA, and Heather, who was chair of the branch at the time, basically sucked me in. Once you adopt a cat from one of the little branches, and
you're involved.
Yeah, they realise that you're an asset to, or you're
because
a cat
they don't
lover.
have their own property, do they? The way it works is people take the cats into their own homes, either to foster them until you can find a forever home, or they take them in permanently.
Yes.
So that's how it works with Stourbridge RSPCA.
There's a lot of little branches that don't have like a centre. A lot of them, it's all volunteers.
Yeah.
Nobody's paid at Stourbridge RSPCA. We're all volunteers. And it's a case of, if you've got a spare bedroom or you've got a spare home and you don't want the commitment or can't afford a cat, you can
you can foster it until...
You can foster it long term.
It's a great idea, isn't it? It's a great idea.
And the RSPCA pay for all the bills, the vet bills, the vaccinations, the food and the litter. But obviously you then don't know how long you've got this cat for. No. Because...
Unless you take one in permanently.
Unless you adopt, and then you take on the costs.
Right, oh I see, okay, that makes sense.
There are a few that are long-term fosters.
Right.
Where they've got long-term health conditions and it's not fair on the cat. If they're an older cat, they've got a health condition that needs regular medication. Very, very rare do we find somebody willing to adopt. So we have long-term fosterers.
Why don't you get people willing to adopt?
Because people want kittens normally. It's usually pretty kittens. There are people out there who will have the harder to home ones. Yeah. So the ones that have got behavioural problems or are really shy, or they've got long-term health conditions that need regular medication and regular trips to the vets. It's a big commitment.
It is. I mean, any animal is a big commitment. I've been out to see the cats at your house, and you've got a catio. Yes. Which, for people that don't know, what's a catio, Liz?
It's basically a big aviary.
It's like our conservatory, but for cats.
Yes. Yeah. So it's a safe space. So mine. It looks like a bird aviary from the outside. So it's mesh, wooden frame with a mesh, but you can get PVC ones and you get all sorts of posh ones. But it's a safe space so that they can enjoy the fresh air and the sunshine.
It's a brilliant idea.
But they're not free to roam. So if you live on a main road, it's the best of both worlds, basically. Yeah, yeah, because you can't really stop cats getting out. No. As Phil behind the camera will will confirm today, because his cat escaped recently. Oh dear. You can't, as much as you want to keep them in, they're not that kind of animal normally, are they? Well, it's not fair because they're territorial. If they've grown up as indoor cats, it's a little bit different. Yeah, they're used to it. That's their life. But we, as a branch, we feel that cats should have the benefit of being outdoors and experiencing the fresh air and different textures and being able to sit in the sun. So my catio's got all sorts of different platforms that they can run up and down. They've got a hammock. It's got a roof over it. So most of it is sheltered from the rain unless it blows in through the sides. It doesn't have to be a big space. It's 2 metres by 3 metres. So it's not huge. It's sort of patio size, which is why it's catio. Of course. So it's basically it keeps them safe and it's really nice for them, isn't it? And you had two. I mean, you've been on my radio show a few times, appealing for people to adopt. Yes.
two cats that you had for a long time, Liz.
4 years.
Was it 4 years?
Yeah.
Chili and Inca.
Yes.
And you wanted them to go together, which obviously not everybody wants two cats, but recently you've managed to find them a home, which is amazing.
Yes. Yeah, the cats do better in a pair, especially if you go out to work. They kind of keep each other amused.
Yeah.
There are some cats that don't get on with other cats, but that's the good thing about fostering in your own home. You get to know the cats. You get to know what they like, what they dislike, what character, what kind of home you're looking for. So Chili is not a people cat.
Oh, okay.
She doesn't like fusses. She quite likes company, but she doesn't want being...
She's a bit aloof.
Yes. Yes.
A little bit aloof.
A little bit aloof, yes. She's just not sure of people.
God.
Whereas Inca's the complete opposite. He was a love bug. He was, as soon as you sat down, he was on your lap and in your arms and stuff. But they were a bonded pair.
So you wanted them to go together?
Yes.
Which they have.
They have, yes.
Which is amazing.
An amazing lady has adopted both of them and
Brilliant.
had a catio fitted so Chili can go outside. Because I was concerned, because she doesn't like people, she wouldn't come if you called.
Right.
So to keep her safe, one of the criteria for adopting is
to have a catio.
Right. Because she did love rolling in the sunshine and...
They all love the sun, animals, don't they? Yeah. My dogs absolutely adore the sun.
Yes.
We've got a conservatory, and I've got pictures actually I must send that we can put on the podcast of a little slither of sun, and they're in it.
Yes.
I used to have a Westie before. I've got Rosie on the mug. Rosie, we had Charlie before, Charlie girl, and both of them would just both be next to each other in this slither of sun. They love it.
It's the way they move around as the sun moves around as well. They suddenly realise they're not in the sun anymore and move.
And people that, there are not many people, but there are some people that don't own animals, that are not into dogs or cats. And they just can't, I mean, a friend of mine, she couldn't believe that I talked to Rosie, but they understand.
Yes.
And like you were talking about, Chili and Inca, they've all got their own personalities and they've all got their quirks, haven't they?
Oh, yes.
And we want people that are listening to get in touch, because we've seen videos of Rosie. She runs at the television screen when Coronation Street's coming on. She's not keen on the weatherman. And when the front comes over, she will dive at the TV. And I guess cats, because never having had a cat myself, they've all got their own personalities. They're all totally different and quirky, aren't they?
Yeah, I've got 5 of my own and they're all totally different.
Are they?
And this might sound a bit crazy, but they've all got their own voice.
Right.
I kind of imagine them speaking in a human voice.
Okay.
So I've got Toby, who's a big black and white cat, big tuxedo cat. And I kind of think of him as a Californian surf dude because he's so laid back. He's not the brightest cat in the world. And he kind of looks at the world like he's stoned. Like, hey,
maybe he is.
Well, yeah. And he just kind of wanders around in this kind of daze, like everything's amazing. And whereas his brother Teddy is the smartest cat in the world, very good looking. And I kind of imagine him as David Beckham. Because he's gorgeous, but he's got a little tiny squeaky meow. I'm sorry, David Beckham, but he's got this like, beautiful big tabby cat, brown tabby, and he walks up to you and you're like, oh, you're a gorgeous cat, and he goes, meow at you.
How funny.
But he got all the brains. And then I've got little Bronwyn, who's tiny little black, and she's the boss.
It's always the little ones, isn't it? It's always the little ones that are the bossy ones.
And I kind of imagine her as like a New York gangster. Like, you're looking at me? You're looking at me?
You need to get a caricature, a book of all of these cats. That would make a great story, wouldn't it?
And then I've got Tasha, who's my baby.
Oh.
Her and her sister came out of a skip.
Oh, good.
On an industrial estate. They were my foster fails. But Tasha, she's my mommy's girl.
Oh.
And I walk in through the front door and she's like a toddler. Lift me up, lift me up. So like she's like, oh, mommy. Bronwyn was mean to me. So
and they all get on. Do they all get on, these cats?
They all work it out, yeah. Okay. And then there's Tiptoes, who doesn't talk a lot.
Right.
But she takes it all in. So she hasn't really got a tone of voice because she doesn't really say very much.
She just stays in the background, lets them all get on with it.
Yeah, and kind of watches what's going on, and she's the hunter, unfortunately.
Oh gosh, see, I wouldn't like that bit. That's another reason I can't have a cat. Stories of friends of mine bringing in creatures, rats
the benefits
and
of the catio.
mice, and yes, that doesn't happen at all, I guess, for you.
No.
And the birds are safe. I wouldn't like that either.
Yes, yeah. Well, they're not safe from mine because mine are free roaming. I haven't got a catio for mine. The fosters are kept separate from mine.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because short term, it's a lot of work. Contamination as well. You don't know what diseases mine carry, and bringing fosters in off the street usually.
Right.
They have to be quarantined, and I have to be really careful going in between the foster room and my cats.
Yeah.
So
the cats coming in via Stourbridge RSPCA are either, I suppose it's maybe cats that people can't cope with anymore, or strays, or they've been found dumped, or various backstories to them.
Yes, yeah. We also help the RSPCA inspectorate.
Right.
So although we're a separate charity, we do work with the main society, with the RSPCA inspectors.
Okay.
So if they, like Chile and Inca, they were both from cat hoarding situations. So these people they're trying to help, and it just gets out of control because they can't afford to neuter or spay them all. So they then breed, and then they end up in a mess. And it's unfortunate. They're trying to help.
They're trying to help, but it's
it just
not
gets
working.
out of control.
Right.
So both Chile and Inca came from hoarding situations, and they came in through the inspectorate. So yeah, and then people get in touch and say, there's this stray, can you help? Because we're such a small branch, we've always got a really long waiting list, but we try and give advice.
Yeah.
So we'll get vet treatment if a cat's injured or has a health problem. If we can't immediately take them in, we make sure that there's somebody looking out for them. So they've got shelter, they've got food, and then we all get them in when we can. And it's horrendous coming into winter because we try and get as many as we can in before it gets really cold.
Yes,
and
that's another thing.
It's horrible thinking about them like bonfire night with all the fireworks and everything.
Don't even go there. Yeah.
Just the wildlife and the impact on stray animals as well.
I know, absolutely. The Stourbridge RSPCA, obviously based in the area that we all live in the West Midlands, they don't have their own unit, as we said, but they always want help. So it could be donating food, which I did at one point, or various things like that. I don't know, blankets and things like that. Anyone that can help, that can get in touch.
Yes.
They would be really appreciative of anything, wouldn't they?
Or give a home to a cat.
Exactly. Yeah. Fosterers as well.
Fosters, yeah. There's a contact page if you go onto the website. If you Google Stourbridge and District RSPCA or Stourbridge RSPCA, our website will come up.
Brilliant.
And there's a contact form. There's a place where you can see all the cats that we've got looking for homes. We also occasionally do what we call direct rehoming. Right. So if somebody's moving abroad or they can't cope anymore, we keep the cats in their home rather than bringing them into foster care until we find a home for them, and they go directly from their home
to their new home, so it doesn't stress them out. That's a good idea, isn't it?
So we do that where we can. Obviously, we're only tiny. I think we've got something like 15 volunteers at the moment, and not all of those volunteers are fosterers.
So you could do doubling that at least.
Oh, yes.
Especially in these times.
Yeah, it's hard, and we struggle for money, vets bills.
Oh, don't talk about vet bills.
Because we try and just foster neutering and spaying. We try and help out with people. Yeah. And strays. Yeah. And obviously that's 60, 70, 80 pound a cat. And then you've got to have somewhere overnight to keep them where they recuperate, especially the females, because it's a bigger operation. Right. So yeah, if you can't help with donation of food or whatever, or time, any money, do a charity event. Yes. Do a bake sale or
anything. Get on board and help, because they do a brilliant job. They really do. They really do.
We do our best.
Yeah, fantastic. We are in our living room zoo. I am Leigh. Philly's behind the camera today, and Liz Cormell is our lovely guest. We've got so many things to talk about because you do so many exciting things. We've chatted about Stourbridge RSPCA. You're a cat lover, and
Yes.
you've got 5 cats. You've got a Casio. The RSPCA always needs help. It's an independent RSPCA, and they need fosterers and people to adopt, but also donations,
Yes.
food and everything like that to help them. So anyone that can help, that would be fantastic. But Liz, you do so many things that you know I'm interested in. One being a psychic, a ghost hunter, but something you're doing later today, which is storm chasing, which can affect animals as
Yes.
well, the weather as well.
Yeah.
But tell us about storm chasing to start with. What's that all about? I know you chase storms, but
I think most people have seen in the United States where they all go off chasing tornadoes and
Yes.
big weather, and from my point of view that's dead easy because you can see it miles and miles in the distance.
Okay.
And the storms last longer.
Okay.
In this country it's a bit more of a science as well as the art of feeling the weather and what's it feel like and looking at the clouds and getting that clip in Twister where he
Yes.
goes off and just stands and looks and
Yeah.
throws the grass up, and there is a certain amount of that. You also get to know the terrain. Anybody who lives around Stafford Way will know you get big storms up round that way.
Okay, didn't know
Wolverhampton,
that.
Stafford. It's kind of a trigger point.
Right.
Especially when the storms are coming up from the southwest, which is kind of like our prevailing, although it's changed over the last few years. Usually it comes up over Wales, over the Staffordshire moorland, and then it hits the hot air coming off Birmingham and Wolverhampton, and that pushes the storms up.
We've had a lot of temperamental weather, haven't we, the last few months?
Coming from a random direction as well.
Crazy, and the temperatures, I mean, everybody's ill at the moment, aren't they? Everybody's been ill. We've chatted on my radio show that so many people have been ill. And as you know, because we talk a lot, I suffer from a lot of sinus problem. And it's all, well, you have a barometer, don't you? And some people are more susceptible than others, let's say. And the last couple of nights I've been up at 3 o'clock in the morning, going down, sniffing up salt water and using an inhaler, and the headache is bad. It's behind your eyes, and that's because, well, we've got sort of high temperatures coming this weekend. It's been very cold, hence the storms that are going to be kicking off today.
Yeah, we've got high pressure coming in from the west.
Yeah.
And that high pressure can affect you.
Changing the pressure, absolutely.
So the high pressure meeting the low pressure, the hot meeting the cold, is what usually triggers the storms.
Okay.
Because the hot air, as we all know, hot air rises. And if it's coming in underneath the cold air is trying to push down, the hot air is trying to push up, and it all kind of balloons upwards. And that's when you get the big thunderhead, the outer cumulonimbus clouds, to give them their technical term.
Wow.
And the higher they go, the more static energy that's generated within the clouds. And we all know the hail that comes with the thunderstorms.
We had a lot of hail last week, didn't we? Just massive amount last week.
Big stones for over here as well.
Really was. So you just love going out and literally looking at where storms are going to hit and just heading off on the road and...
Yeah, trying to basically give information like they do in the States, but to a lesser extent. But flooding can be life-threatening.
Yeah, of course.
And the storms are getting bigger, the atmosphere is getting warmer, so more water's being held.
Yes.
So flooding can be a huge impact on life and property.
Yes.
So having somebody on the ground that can say, okay, I can see this is going to be big and it's not moving, because that's what we get, is the big storms that just don't move, and then you get inches and inches of rain in one spot, which is when you get the villages flooded. But we all remember Boscastle. Most of us remember Boscastle.
Definitely. But our animals, our pets are really affected with the weather, fireworks and all that kind of stuff. They can get very, very distressed. But they have a sixth sense. They're more sensitive than us. And I don't know whether you remember, I don't even know what year it was, because I was away. And my mom was looking after our dog. She was staying at our house, and there was an earthquake in Dudley. Do you remember?
I remember that, yes.
20 years ago, maybe longer.
Was it the 90s? Maybe?
Possibly. Yeah. And we had 3 dogs at that point. We had a dog that we'd rescued off the streets in Spain. We had a cross collie. We had a Westie. And my mum said they were acting so strangely that morning. She couldn't understand what was going on. One of them was sniffing the lawn. as if there was something happening underneath, which obviously there was.
Yeah.
Almost like they predicted what was going to, and that night we had that earthquake.
Yeah.
So how do, like your cats, how do different animals, I mean, I know they can hear much better than we can, they can see much better than we can. They must really pick up on these weather fronts and everything that's happening.
What are you saying about having headaches?
Yes.
We mask a lot of our internal stuff because we're so focused on the physical and our phones and doing things and talking to people. We're so busy with jobs and things.
Yeah.
We've lost the instinct. Paying attention to that. Paying attention to those minute changes, the smells.
Yeah.
You can smell rain coming. You can smell storms coming.
Really?
It's called petrechia. That's what the lightning, that burning smell. It's almost like gunpowder. If you've been to a big firework display and you get that gunpowder smell.
And after a storm, the smell that we get after a storm.
Yes, that's petrechia.
Right, didn't know that.
So the pressure changes, the changes in the Earth's magnetic field as well.
Okay.
We know some animals navigate. So homing pigeons use the magnetic fields of the Earth. So any minute changes in that, things like earthquakes will change that. Mm-hmm. The dynamics of the way the tectonic plates are moving over the magmatic core, it produces disturbances. And we've lost that instinct, or we haven't lost the instinct, we've lost the conscious ability to pay attention to it.
Because we don't practice it, do we?
And it kind of links in with the psychic ability.
Yes.
It's having that, we used to work so closely with nature because our lives depended on it. When did we plant the first crops? Mm-hmm. Are we going to get frosts that's going to wipe it out? Are we going to get storms?
Exactly.
When do we get the harvest in?
The world's changing so much, and it must be, well, it is affecting animals so much, isn't it?
Yes, but the animals still have that instinctive response.
They do.
Whereas we kind of mask it out. I think most of us know somebody who will instinctively look at the clouds and get their washing in.
Yes.
We'll look at the neighbours and go, oh, they've got their washing in. I bet it, because you know from experience that if they've got their washing in, it's going to rain in a bit. Rain. So we follow that. So they've got that instinctive knowledge. Mm-hmm. You just look at the clouds and it's experience, it's instinct. You think, oh yeah, I better get the washing in now.
You see the horses, don't you? Where I live, the bottom of my garden is, there's a farm and the horses are in the field. And when we have a storm, they're charging around the field, aren't they?
Well, it's that static energy. It's for me, it's exciting. It's that adrenaline.
Yeah, I find it. I love storms. I love a good storm.
But we understand what storms are.
Yeah.
I mean, you can imagine back in the day when we didn't know what they were scientifically, when we put it down to the gods were angry. Yeah. It's that same kind of thing for the animals. Like, what on earth is going on?
Is it true, or is it an old wives' tale that cows, they will go and lie on under the tree? But when we had a hailstorm last week and I was taking Rosie for a walk up in Romsley, every time I took her out the door it started to hail and we got absolutely drowned. But as I drove back across the village, all the cows were underneath, were sitting down, lying down underneath the trees.
It's like the red sky at night.
They're not silly, are they? They're not silly.
They all face in a certain way as well.
Do they?
If you notice, if there's strong winds or rain being driven by strong winds, they will put their back into it because they don't want it driving into their faces. And they will herd their young ground. So that they're sheltering their young using their bodies.
Yeah, they're not silly.
Birds building nests know where the prevailing winds are coming from, so they will find a sheltered spot.
Of course.
So with the climate changing, it is having an impact. A lot of people this year have noticed that the first lot of baby birds haven't made it, unfortunately, because it went so cold, and the insects have died, so they haven't had the food. And the baby birds in the nests haven't got warmth.
We had a couple of days that were really hot weather, and there were bumblebees everywhere, and the wildlife just doesn't know where it is at the moment, does it?
No.
It just doesn't know where it is. But we'd like stories, wouldn't we? We'd like to hear, people that are listening in today, stories about your pets and how they react to the weather and storms, and of course fireworks. That's a whole other subject.
And things, if you've got a pond in your garden as well, which flowers are coming out at different times. I noticed this year the bluebells were late.
The blossom trees were incredible this year. They're much, much better this year.
But some things were so much earlier.
So you're off to chase the storm.
Fingers crossed, yes.
Fingers
if I can
crossed.
sort my shopping out beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely.
Real life gets in the way.
And your cats, how do they react to the weather? Are they all different?
Toby tends to hide. He's not keen on thunderstorms. The rest of them are pretty okay. My old cats, the cats I had before these, they used to not like thunderstorms at all.
No,
They used to hide from the thunder, loud noises and fireworks.
Well, my Westie Rosie doesn't bother her at all. Thunder, lightning, she'll just sit in the conservatory and she's absolutely fine. But funnily enough, Spanish Sam, who was I have to send some pictures over to put on the podcast, we rescued off the streets in Spain, was absolutely petrified. I felt fireworks, thunder, lightning, anything like that. And he was born in the campo. He was born in the wild in Spain. He was about 6 months old when we found him in the streets, covered in ticks.
Oh.
Took him to the local vet. She was amazing. She de-ticked him. She said he wouldn't have survived if we hadn't have rescued him. But in Spain, they have these festivals and ferias and parties, and they set off cannons and the bangs and whatever. You imagine you're living out on the streets, a little puppy, whatever. And I think that's probably what triggered his fright. So again, all animals are different, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're all totally different.
It's a security thing as well.
Yes.
It would be so nice to just be able to explain to them what's going on.
Yeah.
But you can imagine not knowing what these huge bangs are, whether it's thunder or fireworks.
Yeah.
And
it's such a shame.
Trying to find somewhere safe where, like, I know people's dogs go absolutely wild with anxiety.
I know a lot of people are signing, trying to get fireworks banned, aren't they, in the UK?
Yeah.
Because you can go, there are incredible displays without the noise.
Yes.
You know, and I just think it's so unfair on animals.
And silent fireworks.
Yes, exactly.
There's so many silent fireworks these days.
A lot of people don't like
people with
fireworks.
PTSD.
Yeah, exactly.
People who've come back from war zones.
Yes.
Had car accidents where loud noises trigger.
Yeah, definitely.
You imagine the wildlife. I mean, there's all sorts of horrendous statistics around about wildlife that just die because of not just the noise, but the shock waves.
Oh.
Songbirds, small songbirds found dead, and yeah, it's horrible. It's human pleasure, isn't it?
It is.
We've banned hunting. We now need to take the next step.
Yeah. And it's not as if there isn't an alternative, because there is, especially.
Well, look at the drone displays.
Oh, the drone displays are incredible.
So why do we need fireworks?
Yeah, exactly.
It's an old technology.
Let's hope we get that through, and we can ban fireworks. Ghost hunting.
There's a segue.
There's a whole other story. You're a ghost hunter as well. So you're a psychic. You chase storms. You love animals, but ghost hunting as well.
Yes.
So where did that come from? Have you always done that, Liz?
I actually went on my first ghost hunt in 2005.
And you were a psychic, so which came first?
Psychic came first.
Okay, and that got you interested in ghosts?
Growing up, I knew there was something else.
Right.
And my mom felt the same. My sister and my dad are oblivious, but I knew my mom was picking up something, and it was just not talked about. It was just like, no, we don't talk about it. But going around castles and things, as parents do with kids, they take them to the Black Country Living Museum or Dudley Castle.
Yes.
We used to go around all the castles in Wales, in Snowdonia. And quite often there'd be a room that I'd be like, don't want to go in there. And Mom would be like, I'll stay with Liz.
Because you had that intuition like animals have. And I've never picked up on anything.
If you can, I always say, if you can walk into a room and tell the atmosphere of the room, you know when you've walked in on an argument and you get that.
Yes.
If you can do that, you're psychic.
Okay.
Because that's all it is. It's picking up the energy, the emotional energy. So yeah, I knew Mom felt it, but my sister and my dad didn't. Grew up and it just wasn't talked about. There was a family kind of ESP thing going on with my mom's side of the family. Dad used to call it the family jungle drums. So we knew stuff. Like when my sister announced she was pregnant, we all knew before she announced it. And I said, it's a girl and she's going to be left-handed. And yes, my niece is a girl and she's left-handed.
Wow.
And that was just like right at the start of the pregnancy.
Good grief, that's just a psychic.
Yeah. And the number of times I've picked my
feeling.
phone up to phone my mom or my great aunts and my nan when they were alive, and I'd answer a question that they were thinking about phoning about. Mum calls it, we call it sending each other messages.
Yeah.
Like I'll be sitting down and go, oh, I must phone Mum. And then my phone will ring.
Yeah.
And it will be Mum.
Yeah.
And she'll be like, oh, you were sending me messages again. And then skip forward to 2005, and a friend of mine from work and I decided we would go on a ghost hunt for a bit of a laugh, something different. Mm-hmm. Went to Caldecott Castle, and I was picking things up, and the medium who was there with the events company was like, you a medium? I was like, well, I don't know.
Not that I'm aware of.
Just this is what's popping into my head. And he's like, oh, you need to develop that.
Right.
So since then, I've done more and more ghost hunts. I've done medium development and all that kind of stuff. So
you can be trained, or you can have some. You can.
It's like a muscle.
Right.
Like I say, anybody who can feel the atmosphere in a room is psychic. But it's like that intuition.
Yes.
That instinct.
Yes.
You've got to learn to
develop it.
There are some people who are naturally good at football, but everybody can kick a ball.
Exactly.
So some people have that head start, but everybody, if you work at it, can get up to a certain level. That's what I believe.
Wow.
Yeah.
But now you organise your own nights, events where people can come along, which I've got to get along to, I must.
Yeah.
And recently, in fact, when you were on my radio show and you had actually, you saw a ghost, which doesn't happen every time you do these events, but you did actually see someone this time, didn't you?
I wouldn't say someone, I saw something.
Something.
I've probably seen maybe 5 or 6 figures that I couldn't explain in the 20 odd years that I've been doing ghost hunts. So it is very rare.
Okay.
But yeah, this time I was at Hinchingbrook School, and I was coming up, the staircase kind of went round and back on itself, and the main staircase is this beautiful carved wooden staircase that's from, I can't remember, but like 1700s and something. And I'd come up the first section to turn the corner, and looking through the banister I could see this blue blob, and I thought it was one of the other teams, because we've all got team uniform, I guess, and one of the teams was wearing this bright blue. And that's what I thought. Oh, it's somebody sat on the stairs, because you find people sat in random places, taking in the atmosphere, listening.
Of course.
And I just thought, oh, it's one of them. Came round the corner, and there was nobody there. And because it was such an open hallway, if it had been another team member, I'd have heard them walking away for a start off, especially if they'd run quick enough for me to be able to look up and around and then not be in sight. So I don't know what that was, but I was talking to the guy who was like the guide, because most locations have somebody who like babysits you and tells you where you can go and if there's any problems and fire alarms and that kind of thing. Talking to him and told him what I saw, and he said, oh yeah, there's quite a few people who've seen the nun in blue on those stairs.
The nun in blue?
Yeah. Oh. It was before it was a school, it was part of the priory. And there's bits of where the staircase is that was turned into the private house under the Reformation.
Got a shiver.
That are still original walls from the priory. So where the staircase is one of the oldest bits of the building.
Wow. See, I've never known what I think, whether I believe in ghosts, whether I don't, but I would love to see a ghost. But what about animals? What about our pets?
Oh, yeah.
Can they come back, or is it just people, wishing it was their dog coming back?
I have a cat, my previous cat, Ewan, who passed away in 2014. He's come back. I've seen him. Now, if it was just me that's seen him, like my scientific
your
brain,
emotions,
my scientific brain would be, oh, it's just wistful thinking.
Yeah.
It's corner of the eye. But in 2017, unfortunately, I was bedridden for 8 months. So I had carers coming in to look after me.
Right.
And 2 of the carers saw Ewan. I've got a little black cat now, Bronwyn. Ewan was a little black cat. And the carers would come into my room and go, oh, I didn't know you'd got 2 little black cats. And I'd be like, I haven't. Not alive, anyway. And they'd be like, oh, I've just seen one run up the stairs. And Bronwyn would be on the bed with me. And then, like, I've just seen another one. So it wasn't just me who said, and a couple of my friends have seen him as well. So
fascinating.
And if you Google ghost pet photographs, there's so many things that come up.
Is there?
People have taken photographs and gone, and that's my dog, and you can kind of see this misty shape that looks. You could see it was like a tail wagging and things like that.
Oh wow! Sends a shiver. Really sends a shiver.
And I definitely think they come back. They definitely come back.
Because recently, you know, when you lose an animal, we've spoken off air how hard it is. Yeah. And I've always known, all my dogs live to about 13, and that's when we've seemed to have lost them through one thing or another. And when you know it's coming, you know they haven't got long, and it's doing the right thing, isn't it? And the last twice we've lost a dog, we have organised getting a puppy, knowing that as soon as we have the one put to sleep, you've got it never replaces your dog, never, but it takes your mind off it a little bit and you've got something else to focus on.
Yes.
But recently, in the last 5 years, there's this whole thing that people say they've crossed the rainbow bridge, you know, all of that, if a pet has died, and just that vision, just that those words I find really upsetting. I don't even like those words. I find them really upsetting. So to know that maybe your pets are still somewhere or do come back and you see them is probably quite comforting, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, like the first time Ewan came back he took quite a while to come back, and I thought, because I had to put him to sleep because he got a tumour, and I thought, oh my God, I've done something wrong. Like he's not going to come back because I did it at the wrong time.
You hadn't.
That guilt, you blame yourself. Did I do the right thing? Was it too soon? Was it too late?
Yeah.
And I thought, well, he's not going to come back because I did something wrong. And then I was sat in the room. I'd already got Teddy and Toby by this point, and their favourite toy is a fishing line with feathers on the end, and they chase it like a bird. It's called Da Bird, and it actually, if you spin it around, it actually goes. Brilliant toy. And I was sat in the living room. Teddy and Toby had gone to sleep somewhere curled up, and I was sat in the living room, all the doors shut, no draft, and the feathers start to move. I've actually got a video of it. I have to see if I can find it.
Find it for us, do.
Because it happened for long enough that I actually got my phone and started doing a video. It's not the best quality these days because obviously it was sort of 12 years ago, but there's a video of me talking and the feather moving, and I was saying, "Oh, is that Ewan?" And the feathers moving, and and that was the first time I thought, okay, he's forgiven me, like he's come back. And then, as I say, various different people started to say, I still see him. I'll have Bronwyn sat on my lap fast asleep, and I'll just corner of the eye, I'll just see a little black cat.
And do you find that comforting?
Yeah.
Oh.
He's still with me.
Oh, bless.
Yeah. But the Rainbow Bridge thing, I think, comes from the Norse mythology.
Okay.
Bifrost Bridge goes between Midgard, which is the human land, and Asgard, the land of the gods. So Bifrost was a rainbow bridge.
I see.
So it's kind of like them going to the gods. That's where I think it comes from. But I think they can come back. So even if they've crossed the rainbow bridge, they can still cross back again because it's a two-way street. But it's kind of comforting thinking that all your past pets are there waiting for you.
Yeah, that is true. That is true.
We're going to see them again, even if they don't come back and visit.
We will one day see them again.
I believe that we'll see them and all their family and friends that have passed before us. I think, they'll be there waiting for us.
That is comforting. And we talked about the weather, fireworks and wildlife and how they're getting affected. And you're still connected to Starbridge RSPCA, which is fantastic. But we spoke recently about the project you're now involved with, which is incredible, which is the UK Wildlife Transporters, which is all volunteers. And we were in the radio studio and you had a text there and then saying, could you transport some ducklings tomorrow? I think it was to Manchester or somewhere. So just tell us a little bit about this organisation, which is amazing, what they're doing.
Well, it's all run by a friend of mine, Alana.
Yeah.
She set it all up. She runs it, just her. It's a not-for-profit. So all donations go back into transports. And it's filling a gap. if you find a bird that's injured. And you need to get it to wherever, somebody that can help, and you don't drive, who do you call?
Exactly.
There is nobody.
No.
The RSPCA do a certain amount, but they're chasing their tails with so much.
Yeah.
What UK wildlife transporters do is fill that gap. So we go and pick up from members of the public, veterinary practices. So if somebody's managed to get the animal to the vets, but the vets can't look after them because most vets are set up for domestic animals,
of course,
for pets.
Yeah.
So they've got no facilities for ducklings or fox cubs or anything like that. We'll go and pick them up and take them to a rescue that is set up to rehabilitate and then potentially release if possible.
So any of us could do this. If
Yes.
we've got transport and you've got a day off and you're part of the group, you don't have to commit, but if you get the message on WhatsApp or whatever, if you're available and you can pick up whatever the animal is, that's all we've got to do. It's linking up, isn't it really? Linking up injured animals and taking them somewhere safe.
And we can do shuttle runs as well. If it's a long journey, if you can only do an hour.
Yes, of course.
You can meet somebody who can take it onto the next leg. Obviously, it's better because they're wild animals.
Yeah.
Everything we do is about trying to reduce the stress.
Yes.
So if there's one person who can do the whole journey,
that's the best scenario.
Yeah. All the carriers are up to a certain standard, certain security. We use certain disinfectants for cleaning in between transports. So the biosecurity is there. So with bird flu and all that kind of stuff, nothing's going to be passed on. You transport the animals covered, so you put them in the car, secure the seatbelt, and cover them with a towel or a blanket, so they're dark.
Yeah.
You don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't eat, you don't play music, you don't talk. So it's silent. So it's
keeping them as calm as possible until they get where they need to be.
And you don't uncover them until you get there and you hand them over. So most of the time, I will transport something and I know what it is, but I don't see it. Sometimes I will see it when it gets to the other end and they've obviously got to transfer it out of the carrier into wherever it is they're going to be looked after. But yeah, I've transported ducklings. What else have I done? Hedgehogs is another common one. Because if you find a hedgehog out in the daylight, there's something wrong.
Right, okay.
What else have I done? I've done birds of prey. I've done baby owls.
Gosh, have you?
Yeah, I've done, was it a peregrine? Some bird of prey.
Wow.
Lots of pigeons.
So this is a public member that has contacted a vet or whatever and found an injured animal, and then they can contact the UK wildlife transporters.
Yes.
Right.
A lot of veterinary practices and a lot of the rescues have a group, a WhatsApp chat.
Yeah.
So somebody will phone. Kewen is our local one. Kewen have a team of drivers themselves, but if they can't, their team can't fill the transport, they'll come to transporters. All the RSPCA Stapley Grange, which is a big RSPCA hospital that does domestics and wildlife. RSPCA Malley Dams as well as another one. They have a WhatsApp team of drivers. So when you volunteer, you'll have an interview with Alana or a chat with Alana. And
I think Alana's going to come on a show as well, which would be great.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah, she's going to come on a show.
And she basically finds out how far you can go, what times you're available. Is it going to be once in a blue moon, or is it something that you can say every Thursday I'm free from between this time, or every evening after a certain time or whatever.
Yeah.
You have to pay for your carriers, which are about £60.
And that's a one-off, is it?
Yeah, that's you reuse them and disinfect them. So the carriers and the disinfectants, it's all there. You just get the link and you just buy your own. Petrol, you can claim that back. So you can get paid for your petrol if you don't want to, if it's a long distance and it's with cost of fuel at the moment.
Exactly. If you can afford it and you want to do it, you can do, but you can claim it back, which is good.
Yes.
Which is good.
And I go all over the country. I've gone up to Leeds, Manchester, Anglesey.
Good grief.
I've been over to Northamptonshire.
What's the most unusual animal you've had to transport to date?
It's probably the peregrine, the bird of prey. A scoter duck was a recent one. What I didn't realise was they lose their waterproofing.
Oh.
So this rescue was looking after it, but they hadn't got the big facilities with the pond, the shallow pond, for it to re-waterproof. So I was transferring it between two rescues so that it could be rehabilitated and then released.
Ah, I see.
And they actually sent me a video of it being released.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's really
nice to follow up on as well. That's lovely.
Yeah.
Lovely.
So
anybody that's watching that would like to be a part of it, because it's a nationwide thing,
yes.
It doesn't matter where you live, you can get involved.
Scotland, England, Wales.
Oh, it's Scotland as well. Oh, brilliant. Yeah. So you just literally look up UK wildlife transporters.
Yeah.
And get all the information that way.
Yeah, and there's all sorts of ways you can help. Alana runs raffles as well. I think she's got a raffle for an amazing holiday on Anglesey at the moment, which is £10 a ticket.
Okay, sounds good.
So if you can't spend time doing it, you can donate towards the cost if it's something. You can also, Alana runs courses on what to do if you find wildlife.
That's something I'd like to go on, you know.
So she will tell you, like, if you find a baby bird, how do you know the baby bird needs help?
Well, this happened to me. So this was probably about 4 years ago, and I'd been at work. It was on a Saturday. It was a very hot day, and I saw something on the bottom lawn, just something very, very tiny. So I didn't let the dogs out, and I went down, and I can only imagine it had either fallen out of the nest, or I don't know, it was absolutely teeny weeny, and I think it was about to die. I didn't know what to do, who to call. I picked it up, and I went to a water fountain and just got a few tiny little drops in my fingers, and his little head came up and it took the water.
Oh.
And then I was stuck because I was on my own. So I'd got the little baby bird in my hand. The dogs were indoors. I managed to find a box which I punched some holes in, put it in the box, and then we found an animal sanctuary in Kidderminster, I think, and they took it in. And we followed up with a call the following day, and it was fine, it survived, and they were going to keep it at the animal sanctuary. But what do? You don't know what to do. We've also had baby magpies stuck up the corner of the garden behind fencing panels, and you thought, is the fox going to get it? And I've sat out there for hours until it's eventually flown away.
Or your cats bring something in.
Cats bring something in. I've got another funny story about a teacher of ours that was... She won't mind me saying, we call her the cat lady, and she was teaching a couple of keyboard pupils online in COVID on Zoom, and suddenly there was a rat running around behind, all the way around the lounge. A cat had brought a rat in that was alive, and oh dear.
Yeah.
So there are so many things happen, and you don't know where to turn. You don't know who to ask for help, do you? So this is amazing.
Yeah, Kewen is our local one around here, Kewen Wildlife, because that's the other thing that Alana's done is she set up what's called the Wildlife Care Badge.
Okay.
And that is a list. If you get the badge as a rescue or a rehabilitator, you've got to meet certain standards. It's something they do in America.
Well, that's good. That's a good thing.
But there's nothing over here.
Right.
So if I wanted to, I could set up a rescue and have pigeons in my spare bedroom. Doesn't mean I know what I'm doing.
No.
But to get the Wildlife Care Badge, you've got to work closely with a vet. You've got to have wildlife standards, keep prey animals separate from predators.
Good, yeah.
So transporters will only take animals to rescues and rehabilitators that have got the badge. So we're not taking it to Mrs. Miggins down the road with thousands of pigeons in shoeboxes in a spare room.
No.
We're taking them to places that have got vet support,
that knows exactly what they're doing, and they can do the right thing for the animals. Yeah,
because of course there's so many different species as well.
Yeah,
like difference between a hedgehog and a baby bird, for instance, and the difference between a baby seagull and a baby pigeon. You've got to know what you're doing with the species.
Of course.
So that's what the Wildlife Care Badge doesn't legislate, but it checks that we're taking them to somewhere where the animal's got the best chance of survival.
Yeah.
And then to be re-released and not kept, because that's the other thing. If they've got to be kept in a sanctuary, then that's fine, as long as the sanctuary meets certain standards again. But if they can be re-released into the wild, they're wild animals.
Of course. That's better for them.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fascinating. Liz, thanks so much for your
Thank
time.
you for having me on.
We have so much to talk about, but if anybody wants to get involved and help, Alana's looking for more people, obviously.
Yes.
Just look up UK Wildlife Transporters and get involved however you can.
Yes, and she's always looking for funds,
Yeah.
things for the website,
Yeah.
phone bill, petrol,
all the
monthly costs.
Of course it is. So if anyone can help, like you say, car boot sale or anything like that, anything you can get involved with, then that would be brilliant. Thank you, Liz.
You're very welcome.
We will hopefully have you back on.
That would be good.
Talk about so many more things, can't we? So that's it from us today at the Living Room Zoo. We would love to hear your stories, see your photographs, anything quirky about your pets, then get involved. Just send us a message, stories@livingroomzoo.co.uk. Big thanks to Liz for joining us today. Phil and I will be back very soon.